Morning, everyone. This is Mitchell back here on my YouTube channel. It's really good to see you guys again. After a couple of weeks, I've still kept really busy because I've been on break, and there's been a lot going on between the home front and spending time with my wife and everything to begin the new year. So I still have 2 Christmases for her side this weekend. But the best part is I am predicting the way too early predictions of the Packers 2023 schedule as the opponents came out, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's another Super Bowl 45 rematch. The example of there, before I get started, is that since they took third in the AFC North, the Packers get to play them again because they get to play one AFC team outside of the AFC team they're scheduled to play every 4 years. So that's big that they get to play the Steelers, and Tomlin just seems to get to stay every year. I don't know what it is, but then they played the third place and the AFC East winner. So AFC North, excuse me. So yeah, the third place AFC North winner they play. So it's them. So we will start with the 12 noon game, the opening game. I actually have the announcers who's gonna announce the Packer game. Unless it gets flex, I even have announcer predictions because I know pretty well on who could announce the Green Bay Packers since they're the Packers. So week 1 we have the Bears. I have that predicted for the first time since 2015 because we have not played the Bears in a while to open it up, and I thought it would be really good to have them open up against the Bears, and it could be really nice weather, and for the Packers and Bears fans to both travel well and get together for that one. So then the week 6 and week 11 and 12 and 18 could mean any flexing. So that's the other catch. And then Sunday we have our home opener, I predict, against Carolina. Usually there's the first two Packer games are usually away. That happened in 2016 for my first year of employment at Lambeau, but this time I have a Sunday game, 3:25, where they open up against Carolina. I think the weather will be very nice for a fall in Wisconsin, and then Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen will call it, and I think Carolina's going to have a lot more at stake after they get a couple of draft picks, so I think it's pretty bold that it could be a 3:30 game. Then I think it'll be a reality noon game against the Lions, and I think there will finally be a noon home game because there was only one against the Jets this year, or it was at Lambeau Field. There was only one noon home game, so this will be the other one as the Lions. If they're down enough and they don't get enough draft picks, I think we would play them at noon. But I'd have both of them at noon as a teaser. And then Kevin Kugler will announce a game because I don't know how good they'll be their first 2 games, so I have them predicted to be the announcer compared to the first 2 Fox announcers. And then I have a bold prediction because the Giants we rematch with compared to for the first time since London 2022. And I have them playing the same week, October 8th, compared to October 9th, and I have them that they played the Packers in 2016. That year at home, and then they met up in London last year, the same weekend, and I have them meeting the Giants at MetLife Stadium that same weekend. So that one's very bolded, and the channel I think is going to be a very bolded one because they host NFC matchups more often now than usual with the new NFL contracts, and since CBS had Thursday night games, they have a new contract where they can play NFC games. So I think Nance and Romo will be at that one, and that could be a very big game at stake, and that's why I think it's going to be a CBS national TV game because there's going to be a lot more that happens because the Giants will be back more and they have a playoff game this Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings and they could really be back. Daniel Jones could really get good at going and this could be a really good game for CBS. So I think that's a very underrated one. I could easily get that one right because we faced them at technically on home games 2016, 2021 the same time. So that would be October 8th as mentioned. And then that's a really big week of games because then I mentioned the Packers have a Super Bowl rematch against the Steelers, the third place team in the AFC North since the Steelers missed the playoffs. And then Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, if they come back this year with Al Michaels having his years in, they will announce the game. The Packers look for their first win at Heinz since a whooping 1970. I looked up the record this morning, and that was crazy to see that we haven't won in Pittsburgh since 1970. I know it's not Heinz Field anymore, but it's always Heinz Field to me because it's a really good name for it. Next, we have the Raiders from Las Vegas on week 6, and I do not have this being a night game because I don't know how good they're gonna be. They had that odd fumble play that they forced against the Patriot. Excuse me, not the fumble, but when they tried to win behind the tosses of the line of scrimmage. That was a very odd way to win the game. That was the Raiders' highlights of 2022, excuse me. I think that was one of their highlight games of the year. And I don't know how good they're going to be, but this will be the Devontae Adams homecoming, and I have the Joe Davis announcing team announcing that game because that's decent enough. That Devontae Adams will be playing his team, and that could be a good homecoming if Rodgers is back to see his former teammates. Next, in all likelihood, if Rodgers comes back and it's just about the money and everything, there's the Sunday game against Kansas City. I predict the Kansas City game to be the week before October 28th because in 2019 the Packers played them on October 28th on the road. And unfortunately, I felt bad that Mahomes couldn't play Aaron Rodgers. So if Aaron Rodgers is back, which I think he will, it will be the first ever matchup between Mahomes and Aaron because when we played the Chiefs in preseason, which is pretty big normalcy, we can't really see that because they got the rest of the starters. But I hope this is finally the matchup where we get a CBS Nansen Romo game where we get arguably the top 5 best current QBs of the game today. And Rodgers is getting down there because he got drafted in 2005, but Mahomes is a nice modern quarterback to watch, and to watch him at Lambeau would be incredible, and that would be a really good national matchup because not every game is going to be a night game, and I think that would be a way better time for that type of matchup. And then I had them playing Atlanta the weekend of October 26th, and I think Adam Amino will announce that one because the Falcons have been down since they lost to Matt Ryan. They lost Matt Ryan. They had a good win to end the season against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay obviously I doubt played their starters. I didn't know, but I doubt they played their starters. And then our bye is going to be way earlier compared to last year. This bye was a blessing just so the Packers could stay alive in the playoff hunt. They beat the Bears and they beat the Rams, and they had a statement win against the playoff team, the Dolphins, and then we had one against the Vikings. So at least we stayed in the playoff hunt from a December bye. That ended up being a blessing, but I think it's going to be an early bye week this year, knowing that the expectations will be higher with a better draft pick with missing the playoffs. And then November 12th, it's always my birthday on November 13th, so I have a fun matchup where it's a Sunday night game against Chicago, and we had to play Chicago. It feels like on a Sunday night game every year, and it was like that in 2021. It was like that in 2022, so I think this movie will continue where we play them for a Sunday night game. I think the movie will continue where we do it, so it just happens to be that way where NBC likes that game a lot when it's prime time Lambeau Field. And then the weather should be very good, like the Dallas game on my birthday last year that I was attended in person, so that could be a very good weather game and a lot at stake there. So I think it's going to be the third year in a row an NBC Sunday night game without a flex. And then November 18th on Fox, I have us against the Vikings, another 3:25 game because we played the Vikings at 3:25, but not a CBS game just like this year because I had the Giants being a CBS game. I can't have 3 CBS games for the Packers, not quite that way yet. So the Burkhardt Olsen crew will be back to that one because that will be a very statement game, knowing that we beat them this year and that we could be fighting with them for the NFC North title again. And then I don't see us playing on Thanksgiving Day. I've enjoyed the Packers not playing on Thanksgiving Day since 2015, since the Brett Favre era. Since that didn't work out, and that's the last time the Bears won was 2015 in Lambeau Field. So I'm glad that we haven't played them. I'm glad we haven't played on Thanksgiving for a very, very long time, given that situation. So we haven't played in Thanksgiving for that long, and that will continue in my prediction to play Carolina at noon, and then Kenny Albert will announce because Carolina has not been that good since Cam Newton left, and they went through 3 different quarterbacks since he's left. So they went through 3 different quarterbacks, and obviously I think that's the noon game because there's not too much at stake there, and if there is, it'll get moved to 3:25 with either Joe Davis or Kevin Burkhardt announcing that one. But I think it'll remain at noon. And then unless the Denver is really bad for potentially Sean Payton's first year to leave NBC, and he probably wants to leave NBC to coach again and he won Super Bowl 44, so the Broncos are interviewing him, and I'm a Michigan fan, so I can't see Harbaugh going there. My hopes are that he comes back anyway, so Nathaniel Hackett's gone, and if they have a really good year, I think this could be a statement Sunday night game because we played them on a Sunday night game October 28th of 2015. And I think it could be a really good one where we play them on Sunday night because if Russell Wilson comes back and has a better year, he played the Packers a lot in his career, and he had a lot of success. The controversial call in 2012, and then the 2015 NFC Championship where Seattle came back on us. So there could be a lot of national stake there, and I think it'll be way more national given that they fired him and that Sean Payton could go, and then that the Packers have a good year. Then it could be a very good national game to watch right as we start the Christmas month of 2023. The next prediction, if Brady comes back, I had the Buccaneers at 325, not another night game because the Packers Sunday night games get really, really late. I have a maximum of 3 Sunday night games this year, except for a Saturday special edition. So, if Brady's not back this year, I think it will be a noon Fox game not with Kevin Burkhardt. I can't say the announcers of the game because it'll be different announcers if we don't play if Brady does not play. It won't be the top announcers if it's a noon game. Likely not. But if it is, they will announce at 325, and it will be the NFC Championship matchup, and it will be Brady's first trip, obviously, since 2021. And Rodgers looked for his third victory against Brady in his career after pulling out a really nice win to somehow stay alive in the playoff hunt. That honestly kept us alive in the playoff hunt with us beating Tampa Bay this year, and that was at least exciting to beat him compared to losing to them in 2021. That was a really important win to keep alive a little bit before the losing streak really started to come on. So that was a good one, and that's a rematch of last season's rematch of 2021. So I think there will be a lot at stake, and that won't be a night game if that happens. And that the Packers are used to playing Brady at home at 325. In 2014 when we beat the Patriots, that was also a 325 game, and the Patriots game last year was at 325, so I don't see that changing. I think that movie will continue where we play Brady in Lambeau Field at 325. The next prediction, I have a special edition game against the Rams. It would be our third year in a row playing them at home because they were in placing of second, third. So I think they would be a good NFC West team to play, and I'm glad we're not playing the 49ers for the regular season. Matthew Stafford comes back. Excuse me, I don't just ignore the Tom Brady one because not ignore it, but if Tom Brady does retire, the NFL Network won't want that one. So if a Stafford Rodgers matchup finally happens after Stafford was hurt a lot of this year, that could be a really good one where it's December holiday festive football where we could play the Rams the same week as Monday night this year, and I had that prediction happening this year, so I think I don't think that will change either. So I think it will be the same weekend where the Rams will have a lot at stake, and that'll be national coverage, and I think that's honestly could happen. And then I don't think some of them may not happen, but the Monday night game cannot get flexed. The Rams game cannot get flexed either because when there's a night Saturday or Monday game that it cannot get flexed due to travelers and due to NFL rules. Christmas night at Lambeau, Justin Herbert's first ever matchup in Green Bay. I think Santa's sleigh is going to rise at Lambeau, and that could be a really, really good game. And the Packers have played the Chargers before, 325, 2015, 325 in 2019 for away games, and they played the LA Chargers the year after we won the Super Bowl at 325 that year. So we haven't played the Chargers at any time past 325 since 2007 on Brett Favre's last year where he broke the record. So I see it finally changing when we play the Chargers on Christmas night because they're going to be a potential playoff team this year. They were not this year, but they came really close to it. And Herbert versus Rodgers would be honestly a big matchup, and that would be on ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, and that would be a really top matchup compared to the NBA Christmas games. It'll be a break from the Christmas games only to have that good of a matchup. Finally, I have us away after three national home games in a row. I have a New Year's Eve game against Detroit at noon, and then that'll get changed to 325 if the Lions show up really well like they did this year and nearly missed the playoffs, not by very much. It was that darn Seattle game, and I felt bad that it wasn't a winner-take-all game for them for how well they played against the Packers. It'll be a Sunday noon game, and I can't predict an announcer because I think that will easily get moved if both teams really play well, and if it matters for the wild card in North, that could easily get moved, so I can't predict the announcers for that one. And I can't predict the announcers for the special edition game because it really changes where Fox or CBS can really flip-flop the announcers for that type of game since it's on a total different network. And then last one, I have so many bold predictions, so I can't wait to do a schedule release and see which ones I get right, including the networks. Not the announcers, but I wanted to predict really early the announcers, but I can't wait to see which one's right, including the networks and including which days and times of the game, because I really really could predict really well. So it's probably the boldest prediction, because we have not played Minnesota since 2012 at Mall of America Field, when Blair Walsh kicked the field goal to knock us out of the first round bye, and then we had to play the Vikings again in the playoffs in a very boring wild card game that I attended in person, and then Colin Kaepernick ran all over us in the divisional. So I think that's gonna be the first time since 2012 we will be away against them. That'll be the first time since 2012 where we finally have a bigger matchup than just the Lions and Bears for that week. So it's usually the Lions a lot, but I think we will finally play the Vikings that year, and then I think that will be a Monday night game if there's a lot at stake, and that will be a New Year's Day, Monday night game, and the Rose Bowl will be a playoff game. So I think that would be a Monday night game, a great way to end the Rose Bowl, and then that game would happen. So not New Year's Day. I know I'm messed up with these predictions right now, so. I think it would be on January 7th, either 3:25 or night game. If it's a really, really big game, it'll be a Sunday night game, winner take all for the North. But if it's not enough of a winner take all game, it'll be a 3:25 game, which will be a nicer start for how late the Sunday night games get. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and please comment which ones I could get right, which ones I could get wrong, and your schedule predictions, and which network and which channel it will be on. I would love to hear from you guys, whether you're a Packers fan, NFL fan. I'm welcome to talk to any of you about football and what the predictions could look like. And I'm always excited for NFL season. That and March Madness are my top two sports to predict on here and do videos on. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if Aaron Rodgers comes back, I'll do another video on that. But I think he will be back, given the money and given that the Packers wanting to keep staying alive for a big for at least a couple playoff runs before his contract ends, and then I think he will retire. So we'll see you on my next video, and have a great rest of the hump day. Bye.